Hey, you tripping, man. Ain't nobody passing no cards underneath the table, man. You need to just pay what you owe because you tripping. Yeah, okay. Keep playing with me. Wait till this poker game's over with, and I'm going to come to your dorm and see if you keep that same energy. Yeah, Karita thought he wasn't going to pay me. You got me messed up. I went in there, grabbed my items out of his locker, and took mine. Hold up, where y'all taking me to the hole for? I ain't do nothing. I'm the one bleeding. I'm the one that got attacked. Where you taking me to the hole for? Hey, y'all see it? Y'all see it? Hey, Big E got whooped by the transgender. Big E got whooped by Karita. Yo, once again it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like motherfucking kitchen sinks. You know one thing that if you all follow my channel, you really know that I stress. One thing I really can't stand is a bully. That's the absolute worst, man. Like, just a bully just really cringes my inner soul, my innermost. Pause. Now, I've told some of this story before, but I haven't told the full story. And it was several months ago when I didn't have that many viewers at that particular time. You know, I was still working my way up, as I still am. But the story of Big E. Big E was a big black 6'2", 230-pound gorilla. Lifted weight, stayed in the weight pile, lifting, 3 times a day. His people sent him money, so he was able to spend $100 a week at the time. And so he was good in the joint. Now, when I say he was a big black gorilla, I don't mean that there's no pun intended. I'm just simply saying when I say gorilla, meaning like he was just a beast. Action figure type dude. A whole lot of years in the penitentiary system. A lot of people knew him. Swole, big swole. So I'm kind of giving you all 2 stories in one. So just lay back, relax, and ride with me. Yeah, work, coming from work, on your way to work, trying to go to sleep, just want a good story, a legitimate story to listen to. Whatever the case may be, just ride with me, man. Just ride with me. I don't make 15, 20-minute videos. Videos is 30 minutes or better. But at any rate, Big E had done so much time in the Kentucky Department of Corrections. Everybody had known him. Now, at this particular time, because we're talking years ago, he was probably, I don't know, maybe 30, 31. And he was a very intimidating figure. He was known for slapping people. He was known for taking people's stuff. Certain people, not everybody. But he was known for just, he was a real live prison bully. Big E was behind them walls, behind the fence. Now, for you all that don't know, being behind the fence, hold on, let me straighten my shirt out here. University of Kentucky, that has to be fully transparent, if you will. But in all seriousness, Big E, man, he was just known. He had been from penitentiary to penitentiary. And he was that guy in prison, man. He was that guy that nobody messed with. But he chose and picked his battles. You see what I'm saying? He didn't just run up on other gorillas. Nah, he aligned himself with other gorillas, and they aligned themselves with him just as well. So, if you was a sheep, it was over for you, dog. If Big E chose you and you was a sheep, it was over. Now, I'm not talking about like any homosexual activity. Big E, never did I know, hear, see anything like that as far as like homosexual activity in prison. I don't think he really went that way. But what I do know is I seen him slap some people. I seen him punch some people. And everybody was afraid of him because of his physicality, if you will. Thing about prison, man, you don't just decide which prison you go to, and you don't decide which prison that you remain at. If you're at a prison, the ultimate goal, you would think, is to go home. Big E had a lengthy sentence, but it wasn't anything that he wasn't gonna go home from. So after several trips, as far as, okay, 3 or 4 years here, he get out on parole, stay out 6 months, come back, do another 2 or 3 years. It was one of those things. So at this particular point in time that I'm speaking of, he was at the end of his sentence. He only had maybe less than a year to go. Now, I know it seems like a long time. Like, oh my God, he still had a year. But yeah, in the prison system, if you got a less than a year, you're considered short. You're a short timer. You got dudes doing life sentences. You got dudes doing 30, 40 years, 20 years, 15 years before they even remotely have a chance of getting out. So you're definitely going home in less than a year, so you're considered short. Every 6 months in prison, you get reclassified. Now, when they reclassify you, they come in, they look and see, okay, how many write-ups have you had? How many programs have you completed? Are you following the recommendations from the Department of Corrections and the Parole Board? So they assess all of that, and they have point scores. Well, if you've been doing all of those things, your point scores drop. And you want to do those things because you don't want to miss out on any good time, because they give you good time just as well. Good time is time knocked off of your sentence. So a lot of times people will comply. Maybe not originally in the very beginning, because you have all of that time, but it's time once you start to. It's like, okay, I can see I can see the light here. So let me start complying and do the things that that I need to do to go home. Big E was doing those things. Well, when reclassification came up, they made him a minimum custody. To be behind them walls, you got to be at least a medium. They made him minimal. It was a shock to Big E, because it was like, whoa, I ain't never been classified as minimal. Even though I do everything that you all tell me to do, you all still keep me at a level, a medium, so I can stay where I'm at. But this particular time, they say, hey, you've been acting so well, you've been on your best behavior, we're going to classify you to minimum. So once you classify to minimum, they're going to get you out of that environment immediately. Because if something were to happen to you, you're not even supposed to be there, because your custody level calls for you to be at an outside camp. Outside camp is a place, no fence. It's way laxed, you would think. And it's like, whoa, lower level criminals there. So he gets transferred to Blackburn. Blackburn's in Lexington, Kentucky. Blackburn Correctional Complex. All you got to do, anything that you're inquisitive about, anything that you're questioning, anything that you're, whatever, have questions about, all you got to do is just Google this information. He gets sent to Blackburn Correctional Complex, Lexington, Kentucky. That's where I'm at. The beautiful thing for me, I'm right there at home. My family lives less than 10 minutes away. Visits every week, and it's just beautiful for me to be there. But it's a camp, and being that they know it's a camp, they often, and when I say they, meaning the administration, the correctional officers, they use that as though it's like a tool. Okay, you're here, it's a privilege to be here, but if you do this, if you catch this right up, you're going behind them walls with the lions, tigers, and bears and gorillas. A lot of people on their best behavior. Now, I'm on my best behavior because I'm trying to get home, but at the same time, I done been behind the walls plenty of times with the lions, tigers, and bears and gorillas. And I ain't never really had an issue. I had a couple issues, but nothing major. So, I'm in the dorm one day. Now, in the dorm, you got 4 different bays. You got A bay, B bay, C bay, and D bay. That's one dorm. Each bay holds 50 people. Then it's like you have a guard tower that's in the middle. The guard tower, everything is glass in the dorm. So you can see in every single dorm, and you can see in the guard tower. Actually, you can't see in the guard tower because it's tinted, but they can see out of the guard tower. So the guard tower's in the middle or whatever. It's the door. You can't just get in. You got to buzz in or what have you. And they bring Big E to our bay. Now, when I see Big E, I'm like, okay. I know that I've done time with Big E before. Matter of fact, I know exactly who he is. Now, he acted as though he didn't know who I was, and perhaps he didn't. I don't know, because he had done so much time. But let me tell you something about prison. You never forget a face. So I said something to him one day, and he was like, "Oh, bro, I really don't remember or whatever." That's cool. I can't try to make you remember me. I was just bringing up the fact that we were behind the fence, behind the wall together at one particular time. And it was the right moment to bring it up. It wasn't like I just went up to him. We was all just kind of around, kind of just sitting around kicking it or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. He comes to our bay. I think I was in C Bay. Something like that. I don't even remember which bay it is. So we just going to say it was C Bay. And Big E was a very intimidating figure. See, behind the walls, behind them fences, he was an intimidating figure, but there's a lot of other guys that look just like Big E. 6'2", 230, big swole, walking around, no shirt on in the summertime, doing the wheel. Because what they would do is they had a car, a workout car, and it would be like 4 of them. And they would walk through the yard, dark sunglasses on, no shirts on, sweating, and, they look like real intimidating dudes. Now, when I say the wheel, I mean like the ab wheel. So they would walk through from the weight pal to go to the gym to where they had the ab wheels, and that's where you would work on your abs at this particular time. Remember, I said I seen him initially behind the walls. So when you send a guy like that to a camp, it's a little overwhelming for inmates. Most inmates that were at Blackburn hadn't been behind them walls. They hadn't been behind the fence. So when you see this guy, and then you got these correctional officers, they're somewhat intimidated by the guy, even though he hasn't said anything. It's just his demeanor. It's just the fact of, if something were to take place, if something were to happen, how can we handle this guy? So that was already the first strike that he had, his mere appearance. So he's there, he's in the dorm, and he was just one of those guys. He was real, like, I don't know, he was, I don't necessarily want to say he was military minded. I don't necessarily want to say that he was, he just had like a program that he followed. Get up at this particular time, get up early in the morning, go to the weight pal, come back, fix his food, go do whatever job that he had to do. He was probably just like a dorm janitor. Do his job, go back, work out again, come back, eat again at lunch. See what I'm saying? He was real programmed as far as doing his time. And didn't bother nobody. Kind of he wasn't loud, but he had a deep voice. Yo, what's up, bro? Yeah, what's up? But he didn't bother nobody. He wasn't really being a bully. And I've seen him be a bully. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I've seen him slap a couple people. I've seen him. But he wasn't really being a bully in this environment, because he understood, okay, the rules are different here. You got some gorillas. Don't get me wrong. You got some gorillas at a prison camp, that have worked their custody levels down. But that's just not the violent environment at a prison camp as far as what it is at an actual penitentiary. Y'all vibe with me, man. Y'all say y'all like my 30-minute videos or more, right? So just vibe with me. I'm not going to get straight to the point in 15 minutes. Respectfully. So like I said, man, he's programming every day, and he got to the point to where he was running the poker games. He seen an opportunity to make a lot of money running the poker games. Basically, that just means I'm putting down. When I'm putting down the poker games, I'm housing the poker games. I'm responsible for everything that goes on. 6-7 people in the poker game at one time. He's running the poker game one day. It's a Saturday. I never will forget it. Poker game's going smooth. Now, keep in mind, in prison, poker is illegal. But a lot of COs, they know what you're doing. As long as it's not a ruckus, as long as it's not, too much of a problem, go ahead and do what you do, man. We ain't tripping. As long as, and on the weekends, you get the cooler COs. That's not really stressing anything, opposed to the jerks, the dickheads that work during the week or whatever. A lot of times you don't get them on the weekends. Everything's smooth. Everything, is everything. At this particular time, I was close to going home. I wasn't really playing poker anymore because I understand that that poker table in the penitentiary, even at a work camp, let's not get it twisted. We're not saying everybody at a work camp is soft. I just understand that it's not worth it. So as much as I want to get on the poker table and kill half my day out, I don't do it. They're all at the poker table. And he has a little discrepancy at the poker table. Now, when I say he has a discrepancy, when I say he, I'm speaking of Big E. Big E had a couple partners at the poker table, and they were passing cards underneath the table. Yeah, this goes down in prison. Passing cards under the table. You got the same deck of cards. Because, see, when you play a poker game, you have a red deck, a brand new red deck, and you have a brand new blue deck. And you put both of those decks in the game, so it's like, okay, give me the red deck. Okay, I want to switch up, give me the blue deck. So you go back and forth, depending on who's dealing the cards at that particular time. Well, you had all these people that was at the table playing in the game, and Big E housing the game, so it's probably, you got Big E and let's just say 6 other individuals that's playing the game. But out of the other 6 individuals, let's say 2 of them is his partners. So they really running game on the rest of the table. So when it's your turn to bet or whatever, I raise you. Then the next person they're going to call, they're going to fold. Then it goes around a couple people, then the next person. Man, I'm all in, man. The table's in, I'm all in. Push all your chips in. Now, in prison, you don't use chips, but I don't feel like explaining that to you all because it's very, very difficult to understand how they do it in prison. They keep the score on paper. So you just say, I'm all in. So the next 2 people that's behind them, they fold. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of game being ran in prison on that poker table. That's why they say stay off the poker table. So it was an individual. He sees what's going on. He clearly sees that Mike, OG Mike, you from Lexington, y'all know OG Mike, he's passing cards under the table. Because he understands what this person needs to win this hand because he's looking at the person's hand. That's a no-no. It's a no-no, but it's a very, very realistic thing that happens in prison. Well, this particular person that seen that was Karita. Karita was a transgender. Transgender, but liked to play poker. Transgender, but the money was good. The money's good. Anybody can come to the table. Karita sees Mike pass these cards under the table. It's like, nah, hell no. Not me. You got me fucked up. Big E's, what you talking about, man? Ain't nobody passing no cards under the table. Man, I just seen you. I just seen Big Mike. Well, not Big Mike. I just seen OG Mike pass these cards under the table. Man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. You need to chill out or whatever. You making it hot. Okay. Karita gets up. Now, in prison, you bring your first items to the table. But the thing about it, being that you're not actually using money, it's hard to, every time you go out of the poker game and you decide you want to get back in, give me $10 more. I can't keep going back to my locker, grabbing $10 worth of food items, bringing it back because it makes it hot. So it's called going up top. Now, if you've been gambling for a while, it's kind of like a credit limit. Okay, if I don't know you, I'll allow you to go 5 up top. Meaning, you bring your first to the table. But if you lose your first, whatever you bring to the table, you have a $5 limit. After you lose that $5, if you lose that $5, you got to go get that plus whatever you want to buy back in the game with, if you so desire. Because there's always people waiting to get into a good poker game. And so it was to the point to where Karita had already been up top maybe $15, but Karita always paid, so it wasn't really a big deal. Brought 5 to the game initially. Give me 5 more. You lost that, give me 10 more. And you just collect these items at the end of the game. You see what I'm saying? You collect whatever amount that they happen to be down. So if you down $25, $30 at the end of the game, guess what? You pay that out. Karita seen what was going on. Seen the game. Like I said, Karita was a transgender. Probably 22, 23 years old. 5'10", caramel complected, short hair, short little afro, whatever. The whole yard was chasing Karita. Probably 165 pounds. And I'm just guesstimating. Y'all rock with me, man. Rock with me. Karita's furious. Storms off. Everybody's laughing or whatever. Oh, man, she, it's what they say. Oh, man, she's tripping, man. She be all right. The end of the game, the end of the poker game, it actually wasn't the end of the game, but it was a break because they had like a count. In prison, you got count times. So it's like, okay, everybody's money's due by 3 o'clock count. They count at 3 o'clock, so have your money in by, 2:50. And then after they clear the count at about 3:30 or so, we're going to resume the game. 2:45 came, 2:50. Karita ain't brought no money in. Karita's about $15 up top. Big E goes in the dorm. What's up, man? I need that 15. Man, I ain't giving you nothing, man. Y'all cheat under the table, man, and I ain't hearing that. I'm not paying you nothing. You gonna give me my money. Now, you got 6'2", 230, 240, weight pal 3 times a day. Been in the penitentiary for a lot of years. Everybody knows him. Real intimidating figure in Big E. Then you got Karita, transsexual, transgender rather. Let's take that back. You got Karita, transgender. Maybe 5'10", not weighing in nearly that amount. And I'm not giving you nothing. Man, look, man, you gonna give me my 15. Man, I'm not giving you nothing. Okay. Well, Big E sees that the locker is open because you got a combination lock on your locker, but this particular time when he came in the dorm, the locker was open. He goes to the locker. Karita tries to stop him, pushes Karita out of the way like Karita's just a fly, a gnat. He got his bag, he grabs whatever he grabs. It may have been more than $15, but I know it was a minimum of $15. Puts all the stuff in the bag, walks out. Then he act like he want to do something. He gave Karita one of them. Walks out of the dorm. But in the meantime, when he comes in the dorm, this is why I say it's kind of 2 stories in one. He comes into the dorm. He had been back into the original dorm, the bay that where we stayed at, rather, and put his food in the microwave. In prison, a lot of times you cook the majority of your food in the microwave. Now, they came with the grills later on, but somebody complained about that, and they got rid of the grill, so everything is primarily cooked in the microwave. One of the number 1 rules in prison, you never touch nobody's food. It's a no-no. You never touch nobody's food. Well, during the time that Big E was going through his digs, Urban Dictionary, his issues, his collecting his money, his problems or whatever, with Karita, my partner, my good partner, Antoine Fortune. You see, I'm using real names in this video. Some videos I don't use real names, but some videos I do. So my partner, Antoine Fortune, was trying to cook his food in the microwave. But he can't get in the microwave because Big E's food is in the microwave, and he don't want to really go in and grab somebody's bowl and take it out of the microwave and set it on top of the microwave, because he understands that's a penitentiary rule that you just don't do. So Fortune's like, hey, whose food is this, man? I'm trying to get in the microwave, man. Whose bowl is this in the microwave? He's shouting out to the dorm. Again, it's 50 people in the dorm. Now, I don't know if it was 50 people that day. It was on a Saturday, but they're 50-man dorms. Nobody said anything. Big E wasn't exactly a small guy himself. He wasn't as tall. He was about, I say Big E, I meant my dog Fortune. He's probably 5'11". He got dreads come down to his shoulders. Dark-skinned brother. Cool dude. My partner, man. I'm talking about we rock till the wheels fall off. Pause. He weighing in about 225. He hitting the weight pile. He nice-sized dude just as well, man. Well-spoken. Don't bother nobody. Very mannerable. He's just trying to put his food in the microwave. But he can't put his food in the microwave because Big E's food is in the microwave. But yet he doesn't know that it's Big E's food. He even goes out to the hallways and he's asking other people, hey, your food in the microwave? Nobody said anything. At a certain point, he got to the, man, forget this, man. I'm taking this bowl out because I got to fix my food. He takes the bowl out, puts it on top of the microwave, watches the bowl, makes sure it's covered up or whatever, cooks his food. He does that. His food's been in the microwave a couple minutes. That's when Big E comes in the dorm with his bag. When he comes in with his bag, because you got these net bags in prison. Use them for laundry, commissary, or whatever. So he got all the items that he didn't collect from the poker game. It's cool COs on, so they're not really tripping. So you can just walk around with the bags. You ain't really got to have them. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Who touched my food? Fortune got his headphones on. We got MP3 players, so Fortune would always rock his headphones in, so he don't even hear it. Who touched my food? Fortune hears him this time, so he takes the earbuds out. He walks to the microwave or whatever. Yeah, man, I took your food out of the microwave. Bro, do you know behind the fence you can get killed for that? Yeah, I do know that. But at the same time, we not behind the fence for one. And for two, even if we were behind the fence, I waited 5-10 minutes. I want to use the microwave just as well. It's the only microwave in here. It don't matter if it was an hour. You don't touch nobody's food, nigga. I tell you what. Big Fortune talk. I tell you what, man. I apologize. But I like to eat too. I went in the hallways. I asked. I'm not trying to hear none of that. You don't touch a nigga's food in the penitentiary. Fortune still remaining calm. Cool, collect. Hey, well, look, bro. I see you got some corn. You got some green beans. Let me go over here and see if I can collect these things from somebody. And I'll just replace the things and you can recook them, man. Now, Fortune was very humble, very respectful. He wasn't being smart with the dude whatsoever. Now, again, Fortune's 5'11", my favorite height to mention, but that's probably what he was. 225. Fortune was a gorilla himself. Traps looked like midgets sit on his shoulders. He wasn't no easy win. But apparently Big E felt as though, okay, he's soft-spoken. He don't really say too much. He's, So, Fortune went around and tried to, collect some of these items. Actually, he was attempting to do that. I don't want nothing from you. Just don't touch my food, nigga. So he just kept talking. Though Fortune's like, all right, man, whatever, man. But he just kept running it. Big E just kept running it. So finally, Fortune got to the point to where he said, well, what's up, big man? What you want to do, man? I done let you sit here and just talk crazy to me. I done offered to replace your food. You done left your food. You in violation. You done left your food in the microwave for 10 minutes. I've been waiting. I waited and waited before I finally took your food out of the microwave. I made sure the bowl was on top. I made sure that nobody bothered. So what you want to do, big boy? I'm just saying, bro, don't touch him. Look, man, I'm done talking. Now Fortune done turned into he's the aggressor. I'm done talking. Let's get in this bathroom, man. Me and you. Me and you, Big E. 6'2", 230, 240. Throwing up 400 plus in the weight pile. Me and you, let's get in this bathroom. Big E don't want no parts of that. I'm just saying, fam, just calm down. I'm just saying, man, me and you been in the joint together, man. We came down here together, which they did. They, arrived at the same day or whatever. Just, the rules behind the fence. Don't touch my food, bro. Bruh, I told you I was sorry. I told you, but dog, you think I don't want to eat too? It's one microwave. Yeah, but I was handling some business over here. I get it. But at the same time, don't ever disrespect me like that, man. Because me and you can get it right here, right now. We ain't even got to go in the bathroom. No, bro, it ain't nothing like that, man. I'm just trying to make it home. I ain't got that much time left. Fortune say I ain't got that much time left either. But about my respect, it's going to be what it's going to be. Don't ever disrespect me like that. He's not loud or anything. But I'm presenting it in a loud way. But Big E was loud. But my partner Fortune, man, was just, nah, man, I'm just saying, man, he kind of had it. I'm just saying, man, don't talk to me like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, you can get it. We can go in here quietly and handle it, and may the best man win. Big E did. I done seen slap people, knock people out, truck people, take people's weed, cigarettes, whatever, commissary. Want to know parts of Fortune. So as this is going on, they come in, they count. 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, what have you, the count is cleared. They go back in, resume the poker game. Y'all ride with me, man. Y'all like the long stories, right? So they go back in and resume the poker game. Big E's hosting the poker game. Everybody's cleared their tops. So now we starting all fresh. You bring your new items to the table. Your new amount of money that you want to bet to the table. See, in prison, man, a poker game will go all day, 2 days. Anything to kill your time. Anything to take your mind off the streets. You'll sit at that poker table and you'll just grind. Big E sitting at the poker table to where when you first walk in the room, because like the room that they were playing poker in, it's you walk through the door and everything, as I mentioned, is glass. So there's tables, there's like 4 tables set up. So when you first walk through the door, you see Big E's back. Pause. That's the way that he was positioned or whatever. Now in the penitentiary, you got gorillas. You got dudes that's runners. You got dudes that's sitting around the table watching. Or you're close to the table. Because in prison, they have a rule, 4 people at a table. Sometimes they'll allow 4 or 5. But you don't want to have a big crowd around the table because the cameras catch that and it just draws attention. So you may have your gorillas, your goons, they just lurking in the cut, just waiting. But we had a prison camp. Big E, wasn't no gorillas and goons like that there. That was, really willing to risk that. They trying to go home. Big difference between being behind the fence and being at a prison camp. Big E's very, very comfortable. He's sitting at the table. They laughing or whatever, talking about what happened with Karita. Karita don't think that's funny. Oh, because you thought that Karita's a transgender, that Karita's just going to let this ride. At the end of the day, Karita's still born a man. And I don't want to offend anyone. So if it did, I apologize. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it's Real Kens TV, so I keep it real, man. See, the Dante Show Network, he just going to say whatever he says. But Real Kens TV, we going to keep it real. So, Karita's not feeling that at all. Karita grabs that infamous lock, puts it in that sock, wraps it around her wrist, hand, goes in. Big E sitting at the table, walks through the door quietly. Nobody thought anything. Bam! Smacks Big E upside the head with that lock and the sock. Now, I don't care how big you are. I don't care how much weight you lifting. I don't care how strong you are. You get hit and you're not even looking with a lock, a combination lock and a sock. Now, that's one of the main weapons in prison. People always talk about, I'll just go get me a knife. Man, you can't just go get a knife like that in prison. It's TV. Now, you can get a knife, don't get me wrong. But you can't just magically a knife fall out of the sky or whatever. That's something that you have to put your order in, put your bid in for. And then even when you get it, oftentimes it gets found in shakedowns and things of that nature. So you may not always have a knife, but you will always have a lock and a sock. Bam! smacks Big E upside the head. He's sitting down, never sees it coming. He's split. Big E had a bald head. He wasn't totally bald head, but he had a very, very short fade. You thought I was a punk? You thought just boom, hits him again. Violence. Immediate violence. Connecting. The first 2 or 3 shots, straight to the head. Head shots. Double pause. Boom. Boom. Stop. I'm talking about just beating the brakes off of Big E. Big E done fell out of the chair. He's trying to, cover his face up or whatever. Damn, really looks bad. Because Karita gets to stomping him, kicking him, punching him, still hitting him with the lock. So it makes it seem like he just beat the brakes off of Big E. Security sees what's going on. As I mentioned, everything is glass. But even if it wasn't, they have cameras in every room. Best believe. Security runs in. They grab Karita. Subdue. Put him in cuffs or whatever. Big E, he's conscious. He's beat, but he ain't, he understands what's going on. He's split, he's bleeding or whatever. He's humiliated. Everybody's laughing. See, in prison, man, everybody's looking for a laugh. Everybody's looking for something to get them to that next point, that next day, that next moment. So nobody's really sitting around like, oh, man, yeah, but, Karita hit him from behind and they like, man, you see that nigga Big E, man? Excuse my French, but that's how they talking. It's just what it is, man. Man, beat the brakes off that nigga. Everybody's laughing at Big E. They take Big E to the hole. What am I going to the hole for? I ain't even do nothing. And big tough convict Big E, now he's making a plea to the police. I ain't even do nothing. I'm the one that got injured. I'm the one. Medical comes first. Then they take him to medical, whatever. But he ends up going to the hole. They review the cameras. They do their research and they do their investigation or whatever. And they see that Big E was the one that caused this. Went in Karita's bay, took food out of Karita's locker. They seen all of that. Hit him with a write-up, sent him back behind the fence. Well, he didn't care because he wanted to be back behind the fence anyway. Now, he didn't want that write-up because that was going to affect his release date. But he never wanted to come to a prison camp anyway. Oftentimes, dudes has been doing time behind the fence for all the years that Big E had been doing. They don't want to come behind the fence. It's too petty. You got COs that really act like they tough and they don't have to be. They just rather stay in the environment that they were already in, to say the least. Well, Karita ended up getting out of the hole. They let Karita out of the hole. Even though Karita split him, it was kind of like administration did a favor to Karita. It seems as though because the staff was kind of intimidated by Big E, and then people was dropping kites on him, which means dropping notes. So when the CO would come into their guard towers or whatever for their shift, it's a note. Yeah, man, this guy Big E, man, he's intimidating. This guy Big E, man, he's threatening people. He's bullying people. So it was only a matter of time before they got him out of there anyway, which like I said earlier, he didn't care. But the point of the matter is, you never know who you messing with. You never know. The person that you think is so soft, is so weak, is so soft-spoken, is so well-mannered, that person could be a lion, a tiger, a bear, a gorilla. Now, in this particular situation, I don't know if Karita was any of those things, but I know what? That particular day, Karita was all of the above. I once heard a dude tell somebody in prison, dude was a boxer. He's hitting he's the hook off the jab. Like Felicia's gonna do Dante. He gonna do the hook off the jab. Yeah, you know how to box. And that's real impressive. But I know how to fight. So whatever you want to do, just understand there ain't no rules in fighting. And that shut down everything. The entire beef controversy, whatever they had, problem that they had at that particular moment, shut down everything. Karita showed out that day, man. Big E had it coming to him, man. He was just a bully, man. But he was a bully that he didn't really want to throw them hands. He would throw them hands with somebody that he felt as though he was going to win with. But my dog, Antoine Fortune, he wanted no parts of him. None. But then you want to go around here and push the transgender around as though the transgender wasn't or isn't a man. Respectfully. You got your issue that day, Big E. Because you got punked out in the dorm by my dog Fortune. Then you got whooped by the transgender. Watch who you mess with. Treat people with respect. Because as I was saying, you never know what a person has on their mind. You never know what a person is capable of. Care nothing about you knowing how to box. We're in the penitentiary, man. We're not in the boxing ring. We're not in an MMA cage. No, man, it's dog eat dog. So we're going to fight. And some people have that mentality of fight to the death, man. Penitentiary, man, you'll get stomped out. You'll be unconscious and the dude will still be stomping your face in and you stomped out. You already unconscious. Now, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but actually I do want to make you uncomfortable. Uncomfortable enough to know don't break no rules. Follow the laws. Even if you don't agree with the laws. There's laws in place for a reason. Because when you go to that penitentiary, I'm trying to tell you, man, everybody don't make it out. Just imagine seeing somebody, they're fighting, and he's knocked out. I'm talking about clearly knocked out. Arms out, and the person's just still jumping on top of him. And they talking to him, just stomping him. That's the type of action you see in the penitentiary, man. It's gruesome, but that's just what it is, man. Big E got his issue that day. So hopefully he was able to take that and understand that I can't just be bullying people because my size don't nobody care nothing about your size. Because you can lift 400 pounds. Can your jaw lift 400 pounds? Can you take a headshot with a can of chili in a sock? Or a combination lock in a sock and somebody just hitting you, you don't even see. Can you take that? Are them weights going to help you then? Man, stay humble, man. Stay humble. Now, it wasn't much longer after that situation arrived. Karita ended up getting into some more trouble and got transferred to another facility. But you best believe that wherever Karita went to, that name followed. And nobody ever tried to pass cards under the table in a poker game again, man. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive.